Cosmic Ghost Rider versus Red Death. Two characters coming out of dark alternate realities, bonding with a force way outside of their control to become exponentially more powerful and dangerous. But in a fight between the two, well, who's ultimately going to be coming out on top? Who will win it all? Let's get into it. In an alternate universe, Frank Castle, the Punisher, was killed during a battle with Thanos. In Hell, Punisher made a deal with Mephisto, returning to life as a Ghost Rider. Also, he could punish the Mad Titan. However, upon his return to the land of the living, he found that Thanos had scoured the planet of nearly all life, and the villain was nowhere to be found. The new Rider spent countless years alone with nothing to punish or avenge. Days became years, years became decades, decades became centuries, centuries became millennia, all of which caused Castle to lose his mind. Then it happened. Galactus, injured and humbled, had come to Earth, seeking help to finally defeat Thanos. But he had come too late. The only person left alive to help him was Ghost Rider. So, if a little convincing, Galactus made Frank his herald and gave him the power cosmic. Ultimately, though, they failed to stop Thanos and Galactus was killed. However, at this moment, Thanos and the Rider were at an impasse. Thanos knew that he could not kill Frank, but Frank was not powerful enough to overcome Thanos. So Thanos offered for Frank to become his herald instead, promising that he could punish more evil than he could ever imagine. The Cosmic Ghost Rider has both the powers of the Spirit of Vengeance and the Power Cosmic. So yeah, he's incredibly powerful. He's been able to kill countless different heroes from across countless different alternate realities. He's been able to injure Thanos with his attacks. He's even fought against the real Avengers, overpowered the likes of Thor and She-Hulk. He's said before that he's the most powerful Ghost Rider out of all of them, claiming to constantly be holding back so that he doesn't destroy the very world that he walks upon. And being a Ghost Rider means that Frank is a very, very hard man to kill, presumably from the fact that he's already dead. But seriously, Thanos was able to murder Galactus in just one shot. He said that he didn't have enough power to hurt or kill the Rider. He's just fine taking attacks from Thanos, having his head ripped off by Thor, being blasted around by Galactus. He's even withstood direct beams from Celestials before. None of it has been able to put Frank down. And even though he's the Cosmic Ghost Rider now, well, Frank Castle still loves his weapons. He's got chains forged from the bones of Cyttorak, guns that can shoot out hellfire, and of course, the lethal Penance Stare, able to make everyone feel the pain and damage that they've inflicted upon others. Batman of Earth -52 was once the hero of Gotham City, but after losing one too many sidekicks, well, Bruce had had enough. He realized that while he wasn't fast enough to stop all crime, there was one man who was. And so Batman did the logical next step. He beat every one of the Flash's villains and used their gear to fight the Flash himself. Then he trapped Flash and sent them both into the Speed Force, absorbing all of Flash's powers and becoming the unstoppable Red Death. And as the Red Death, well, you're basically looking at Batman with the powers of the Flash. It's a little bit more complicated than that, as Barry Allen is actually trapped within Batman's body, who will try and fight against him and the evil things that he wants to do, but the gist is that it's just Batman with the Speed Force. He's strong enough to presumably hit just as hard as the Flash, who's been able to throw some pretty serious punches in his day. But that's just more assuming that these two characters are the same. Realistically, we haven't seen Red Death actually do this. But it definitely isn't that much of a stretch to assume he can. And because Red Death is from a different universe altogether, and not just that, but a dark universe, well, seemingly positive matter beings cannot hurt dark matter beings all that much. They're just naturally way tougher against those types of attacks. But the biggest thing going for Red Death is obviously his insane superhuman speed. I mean, he's got the speed of the Flash. He's infinitely faster than the speed of light because of it. He's blitzed members of the Flash family before. He's been able to keep up and keep pace with the real Barry Allen. He's stupid fast. And because he's got a corrupted version of the Speed Force, well, whenever he runs, he leaves a trail of bats behind him, which actually end up hurting and incapacitating anyone who gets caught in the drift. He's also got the unique power to straight up drain other people's life forces, just leaving them as a withered husk on the floor. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, when comparing these two characters, one thing becomes pretty obvious. Red Death is the faster one out of the two. Cosmic Ghost Rider has struggled to keep up with Nova before. Red Death literally has the powers of the Flash, the fastest one there is. Speed is a massive advantage for Red Death here. But outside of that, well, Red Death can't do too much. I mean, for starters, he's not stronger than Ghost Rider. Frank has strength to spare, even if he normally doesn't just go in there pummeling away with his fists. But more important than that, Red Death definitely isn't tougher than Ghost Rider, and he definitely doesn't have the more powerful attacks out of the two. Like, Cosmic Ghost Rider is literally unkillable. He's already dead. So Red Death's nice ability to suck the life force out of someone isn't going to do anything, because Frank has no life force to drain away. He's really, truly dead already. And outside of that, well, Red Death isn't packing more power than Thanos or Galactus or Celestials, and Cosmic Ghost Rider has been able to take all of those attacks no problem. There's just no way for Red Death to injure Ghost Rider in this fight. On the other hand, there are plenty of ways for Frank to injure the Red Death. Like, for starters, there's his Hellfire. Hellfire that is supernaturally more powerful than normal Hellfire. Like, Thor is immune to Hellfire. He's just so tough that it doesn't touch him. Frank is able to burn him with his Hellfire. Heck, Ghost Rider was able to completely destroy the entire Annihilation Horde with ease, cracking jokes while he did it. This Hellfire would burn Red Death to ash in an instant, no question about it. And even outside of just specifically Hellfire, he's also got access to the power Cosmic, able to launch out energy blasts, powerful enough to knock around Thanos and have him down on his knees coughing up blood. Then to finish it off, there's his Penance Stare, which, like his Hellfire, is just supernaturally more powerful than other Ghost Riders. Like, usually, Thanos is immune to the Penance Stare. Thanos is just too tough for the attack to touch him. Well, then Cosmic Ghost Rider gets in there, literally burns Thanos down to just a skeleton and melts his face off. With all the evil that Red Death has done, do you think this is gonna go any differently? Now yes, Cosmic Ghost Rider is wildly inconsistent. That's definitely out there. He's all over the place sometimes. Like, he's been injured by Iron Fist or Gambit before. So yeah, you can definitely say he's inconsistent. But Frank himself has said before that he's constantly holding back so that he doesn't destroy everything around him, that he also tends to forget all the crazy stuff he can do, resorting back to his Punisher days and just shooting guns. So that inconsistency is kinda explained within the character. But if they're both fighting at their best, well, Red Death has no way to win here. He literally cannot injure or kill the Cosmic Ghost Rider. You can say it's a draw, because Rider will never catch the Red Death with the speed of the Flash, but considering that Ghost Rider has Hellfire big enough to cause massive nuclear explosions, is able to one-shot the whole Annihilation Horde, and supposedly has world-shattering power, I'm gonna say that Rider would eventually find a way to hit Red Death with an attack sooner or later. And once that happens, well, it's all over. Cosmic Ghost Rider wins here. It's not even close.